This is the Troll Patrol, live with Justin Freakin.
Welcome to the Troll Patrol live. It's a freaking Sunday. Did you call me a Kamala cuck? Is that what you said? Kamala cuck. So, Kamala cuck, how's the copium going? What entails one being a Kamala cuck? Just expressing your intention to vote for Kamala makes you a cuck for her? Is that what you're trying to say, Warlord? Gratilla, good evening. Fuzzy Simba, good evening to you, Warlord. Good night, because it's nighty-night time over on your side of the pond. But I think you should stay awake, because we got a hell of a show tonight. Including plenty of Trumpy Trump news just for you. Steve Kornacki going to break down the polls for us. Dick Cheney, Liz Cheney endorsing Kamala Harris. Alan Dershowitz leaving the Democratic Party. North Carolina must remove RFK from the ballot. Bill Maher is upset with leftists over the way they've treated RFK's wife, Cheryl Hines. Trump threw a tantrum. You might be asking yourself what Melania's been doing. Because she hasn't been hanging out with Trump and Elon Musk. Melania's got a new book you can order. And I want you guys' honest opinion if this is actually Melania doing the ad for it, or if this is fucking AI. Kimberly Guilfoyle gave a speech the other night and bombed. Literally had to say, please clap. Pulled a Jeb Bush. Candidate in Las Vegas was attacked with a knife while putting up campaign signs. A judge has been removed from the bench after audio was shared of her calling herself a racist. A police department hired and then fired a cop who admitted to having sex with an inmate. The FBI has raided a cop known as the conspiracy cop. Apparently he's real deep into the QAnon. Just another day in mass shooting USA. Manhunt is underway. We're going to get the update from Kentucky, where apparently it was a mass shooting on the interstate highway. This is a new one to me. Manhunt is underway in Queens after a mass shooting. The school shooter's mother, the kid that shot up Appalachia High School last week, apparently tried to warn the school. Neighbor has been arrested on suspicion of murdering an Oregon nurse. Football star Tyreek Hill of the Miami Dolphins was detained this morning. We have video of it. He was asked about it post-game interview. Munster Balls, good evening. Fuzzy Simba, good evening. DJ Dub, my friend, good evening. Trump will lead. I believe you're the one having to huff the copium, Warlord. I think a lot of right-wingers really having to tell themselves that Trump is going to win. Great. Queen Kendrick performs Not Like Us at the Super Bowl. You know the song's about me. I'm a pretty big deal. Kendrick Lamar announced as the Super Bowl halftime performance for this coming, I guess, January, February. I don't know when it is. This next Super Bowl we got coming up. Nicki Minaj reacted to being called Hulk Hogan. I can't wait to watch that. I can't wait to watch this video. And Laura Loomer eats dog food. All that and a lot freaking more tonight on the Troll Patrol Live. Good evening. Welcome. The debate schedule is filling out quite nicely. Of course, we have the presidential debate coming up on Tuesday. On Tuesday night, we have the presidential debate. The event is already created on YouTube. We're coming on at 7 o'clock that night. There is the Washington gubernatorial debate also that night. It's Pacific time. We could watch it. However, they are debating again. Washington gubernatorial debate. They are debating again on September 18th, so just a little over a week later. Week from Wednesday. So I say we watch the Washington gubernatorial debate a week from Wednesday. Take C-SPAN calls after the Harris-Trump debate on Tuesday. But if that does not wet your debate whistle enough for this week, we get our first high-profile Senate debate. On Thursday, we will be watching Lisa Slotkin debate Mike Rogers. I believe this is an open Senate seat. Alyssa Slotkin is a congresswoman. Mike Rogers, the Republican challenger. The polls are tightening. Michigan, a crucial state in both the presidential race and control of the Senate. So we have the first major Senate debate on September 12th. September 19th, we're going to be watching the Virginia Senate debate between Tim Kaine and Hung Cao. On October 2nd, we've got the North Dakota Senate race. October 3rd, the Pennsylvania Senate race. That one also highly contested. Bob Casey defending against Republican challenger Dave McCormick, who is also closing in the polls. On October 9th, this is one you're going to want to buckle up for. Ruben Gallo debating Kerry Lake in Arizona. I believe there's also going to be a libertarian on the stage with them. In Maryland on October 10th, we're going to have Angela also Brooks debating Larry Hogan. Larry Hogan also has been trailing but closing in on the polls. In October 17th, we've got the Nevada Senate race, the Nevada Senate debate. I don't think I have not been working on the schedule for House races. House debates. October 8th, we're going to do Iowa's 3rd District. September 12th, the same night that we have the Washington gubernatorial debate. We also have Arizona's 5th Congressional District. Andy Biggs, the Republican incumbent, debating Democratic challenger Katrina Schaffner. That is all of these congressional races are contested. They are up for grabs. So this Arizona congressional seat will be crucial. On Wednesday, October 2nd, we're going to do Virginia's 7th. That's an open seat vacated by Abigail Spamberger. We have the Republican Derek Anderson debating Eugene Vindman, the Democrat. Oregon's 5th on October 8th. Very much keeping an eye on Arizona's 6th district. Kristen Engel and the Republican incumbent Juan Ciscomani. Smokey. God damn it. Torchy, good evening. T minus. Is that who that is, T minus? I was not aware of that. I kind of thought it when I was reading it off just now. I was wondering if that's any relation to Colonel Vindman. I guess he was also. Is it the brother? Pennsylvania's 8th district also going to be highly contested. I think it is Republican Matt Cartwright. I need to check that. I probably shouldn't speak without knowing. I don't know. I can't believe I didn't write that down. Incumbent Matt Cartwright against challenger Rob Breshnahan. We're also going to be watching the New York 22nd District. That is October 8th between Representative Brandon Williams and John Mannion. Still yet to be announced is the North Carolina governor's race. That is like the most highly contested, highly watched race in the country, and it is expected that the governor's race actually going to bring down the Republican ticket. Sassy, good evening. Meatcakes, good evening. Shelly, anybody else that I left off? All that and a lot freaking more tonight on the troll. Oh, wait a minute, I already did that part, didn't I? I was running down the debates we got going on. So you're home for at least one of every Senate debate. We're going to try to do 15 or so of the most contested congressional debates. And then we have three governor's races we're watching. Washington, North Carolina, and New Hampshire. New Hampshire, North Carolina, yet to be announced. Starting off strong this week with the Michigan Senate debate on Thursday. A Arizona congressional debate on Thursday. And of course, the presidential debate coming at you on Tuesday. And it's also 9/11. It's a holiday this week for those who celebrate. Presidential debate coming at you on Tuesday. We're going to be coming on at 7 o'clock. Snappa, good evening. Once again, I will do my best to lay out as much as possible. The YouTube audience hates it. They're not as much of a problem as when we get to the Senate debates and there's not everybody in the world covering like there will be the presidential debate. I will be covering high school debates and elections, Mansoor. And by the way, anybody that has a congressional race, if you want your congressional race covered, if you want me to actually put it on the list, make sure we do it. Get a hold of me on Twitter or Discord. It's probably the two best places. Snap it. I tell you good evening. Prometheus, King Burrito, good evening. The Rain Man of Democracy. I don't know if that is a compliment or not. And also, I don't think I am, because wasn't Rain Man really good with maths and stuff? That's the last thing I'm good. I really need to get high. Math is the last thing I'm good at. God damn.
But then you take
I was waiting for the weed to go away to hit the Steiner.
And add 66 and 2/3%. I got 141 and 2/3 chance of winning.
I'd be doing that Steiner math, but somebody who is up on the math is Steve Kornacki. He's going to break down the battleground states for us. Dustin, good evening.
Political correspondent Steve Kornacki. Steve, break it all down for us. 2 days until the debate. Where do things stand?
Yeah, Christian, 2 days before this debate, this is what you're looking at in the 7 core battleground states. You are seeing razor-thin contests here. You see less than a point, 1 point. 7 battleground states here that we think are likely to decide the Electoral College, the road to 270. Now, take a closer look here, and there are a couple things we want to draw your attention to. First, you do notice there's one state here, Wisconsin, where the margin does seem larger than the others. Put a pin in that because we're going to get to that in 1 second. But the other aspect here, when you look at these closing...
You like that buttocks, don't you?
In the Sun Belt states, it reflects how this race has changed a little bit since Kamala Harris replaced Joe Biden as the Democratic candidate. What we're going to show you...
Want some of that Kornacki cornhole.
...of the electorates in these 7 core battleground states, white and non-white. And you can see nationally, this is what the electorate looks like. These three states, Nevada, North Carolina, and Georgia, you see the share of the electorate that's white is actually lower in these three states than it is nationally. The share of the electorate that is non-white is actually higher. One of the things that has happened since Kamala Harris replaced Joe Biden is that Biden had been struggling relative to how Democrats historically do with Hispanic voters, with black voters, with non-white voters. Harris has improved on Biden's standing with those voters. She's not at the levels that Democrats have typically run at in the past, but she's improved. And so when we just showed you those close margins in these states here, that's the source of Harris's improvement. These states are looking more promising for her than they were for Joe Biden. But again, she's not at the level Democrats typically get with non-white voters. That's something her campaign is looking at trying to boost and trying to improve. The other end of it, though, is this. Look at the Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania with the highest shares of white voters. Specifically here, we're going to look at blue-collar white voters who don't have four-year degrees. And again, you see the national average here, 35%. Look where Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania are in their electorates. The key here is, remember, we just showed you that poll that had Harris up by 5.5 on average, the average poll in Wisconsin.
Nagy showed you his poll.
Well, Wisconsin has the highest share of non-college white voters. These are the voters.
Holiday, good evening. Let me tell you, I just shaved like an hour ago, and I needed to. If you watched me last week on stream, I was scratching the shit out of it. I even said it at one point in time, like, I need to fucking shave because it itches.
In 2020, missed on in 2016. They undercounted, the polls did, Trump's support with blue-collar white voters. So when you see polls this fall, particularly in a state like Wisconsin, I think you put a little bit of an asterisk next to it because we saw big misses there before. And the question is, are we seeing misses there again? Is Trump perhaps being undercounted in those states again? But again, 2 days into this debate, Kristen, the big issues that you're likely to come up here, just take a look from a Wall Street Journal poll.
Soup, good evening.
Stand here in terms of the public's view.
Warlord, shout out Soup, please. And thank you.
Harris with an advantage on abortion of 20 points. She's made this a centerpiece for a long time now. The economy.
You fucking know how.
Hamas war. These are all Trump.
Oh, my God.
Over Harris, although Harris doing a little bit better on some of these questions again than Biden had, but not where her campaign would like her to be, Kristen.
Thanks for watching.
Shut up, Lester.
Breaking.
Warlord's got me in a bad mood now. So, like, I really forceful with that shut the fuck up, Lester. You got me up to here, Warlord. King Burrito, did I tell you good evening? I'm not insulting Lester because he's black. That is a baseless accusation. Former Vice President Dick Cheney. He's with her. He's voting for Kamala Harris.
Former Republican Vice President Dick Cheney will be voting for Kamala Harris.
God damn it!
That according to his daughter Liz, a former Republican congresswoman who has endorsed Vice President Harris herself. Cheney served as VP for George W. Bush from
good evening.
2009. The staunch conservative was also a longtime congressman from Wyoming and had held several leadership roles in the House Republican caucus. Cheney has previously called former President Trump, quote, a threat to our republic, end quote. In response, former President Trump posted to social media last night that the former
politically, good evening,
was, quote, irrelevant and the king of endless nonsensical wars, end quote.
I mean, broken clock, right? The fact that we have Dick Cheney and Putin both endorsing Kamala Harris is wild. Harris was asked about the endorsement from Dick Cheney. I'm sure she's going to be flattered by it.
Actually, I'm honored to have their endorsement.
Oh yeah.
I think that what they both as
I don't think Pence has, but Pence has said he won't be voting. I think
that
won't be voting for Trump.
okay, and if not important, to put country above party. And
Dick Cheney and Jesse Ventura endorsing the same candidate. That is a wild time. What strange bedfellows.
they both, as leaders who are well respected, are making an important statement that it's okay, and if not important, to put country above party. And I'm honored to have their support, and I think it's an important statement right now. A lot of what I think is happening, and I was just talking with some folks here in Pittsburgh about it, is that people are exhausted about the division and the attempts to kind of divide us as Americans.
Yes.
And them stepping up to make this public statement, I think, is courageous, but also for people like the folks I was just talking with, it really reinforces for them that we love our country and we have more in common than what separates us.
Yeah, it makes you seem like a really conservative Democrat. The Cheneys are all right with endorsing you, so. But hey, here's what Bernie had to say about the fact that the Cheneys endorsed Kamala Harris. He was on Meet the Press this morning.
Senator, before I let you go, I do have to ask you about her recent endorsements by two people who are not progressives at all. Of course, I'm talking about Dick and Liz Cheney. This week, they said they're going to support her.
Really forceful with Dick there.
It's worth noting, former Congresswoman Liz Cheney voted with former President Trump more than 90% of the time, was quite critical when President Biden picked her as his running mate. Would you welcome seeing Liz Cheney out on the campaign trail?
Well, Kristen, what I think Dick and Liz Cheney are saying is that in this
They both like saying Dick.
existential moment in American history, it's not just issues. Cheney and I agree on nothing, no issues. But what we do believe in is that the United States should retain its democratic foundations. And it's not just Cheney. I think there is a...
I can't wait to have your cock in my mouth. I'm going to give you the blowjob of your life. Then I want you inside of me.
significant number of Republicans that say, well, you know, I may not agree with the vice president on this issue or that issue, but I cannot support somebody who's a pathological liar, somebody who fomented a insurrection to overthrow the election return. So I applaud the Cheneys for their courage in defending democracy. Obviously, on all the issues, we have very different points of view.
All right.
All right, Bernie Sanders. Feels like Kirsten really likes Bernie. Someone I'm sure really doesn't like Bernie is accused pedophile Alan Dershowitz, who is pulling his own "Why I Left the Left." I didn't know he was still in the Democratic Party, but apparently he's now leaving the Democratic Party.
Was disgusted at the Democratic National Convention. Absolutely disgusted.
We're speaking with Harvard Law Professor Emeritus Alan Avi Dershowitz. So are you ready to leave the Democratic Party?
Democratic Party. I am no longer a Democrat. I am an independent. I'll decide who to vote for at the last minute based on totality of the circumstances. I was disgusted at the Democratic.
He's talking about the Democratic National Convention. I would like to remind everybody that the Democratic National Convention had numerous Jewish people speaking, including Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, Bernie Sanders, the Senate Budget Committee Chairman, and the list goes on and on. I don't remember Jewish people speaking at the RNC. No, that was a problem that someone from Palestine didn't speak. But if his issue is that the Democratic National Convention was disrespectful for Jewish people, how on earth do you come to that conclusion? When there were numerous Jewish speakers, including that one little tribute to the hostages. Like it's absurd. Absurd. North Carolina is going to have to remove what might be a blow for Democrats. RFK Jr.'s name must be taken off ballots in Michigan and North Carolina. Rulings upend plans and battleground as nation's first absentee ballots in presidential contests were set for mailing. Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s campaign for president failed, but his campaign to avoid being a spoiler in North Carolina and Michigan appears for the moment to be more successful. The North Carolina Court of Appeals made a last-minute decision on Friday to remove Kennedy's name from the presidential ballots, creating a scramble to reprint ballots and begin sending them to voters. In Michigan, a state appellate court also ruled on Friday that Kennedy's name must, as the Natural Law Party's candidate, must be stricken. That Kennedy's name as the Natural Law Party's candidate must be stricken from the ballots. The Michigan Secretary of State's office said it would appeal to the state Supreme Court. Kennedy has been fighting to remove his name from ballots in swing states ever since dropping out and endorsing Donald Trump. Speaking to reporters after the endorsement, Kennedy said that his polling consistently showed he would likely hand the election over to the Democrats in battleground states where he was on the ballot. North Carolina has emerged as such a battleground state. Trump won North Carolina by 1.3 percentage points in 2020, a margin of about 75,000 votes, the closest state in which Trump prevailed. Third-party candidates won about 82,000 votes in North Carolina that year. Michigan is also considered a key battleground state, with Kamala Harris up by 2 points over Trump in the Project 538 polling aggregate. In North Carolina, state law requires the first absentee ballots to be mailed on or transmitted no later than 60 days before the general election, making Friday the deadline. The deadline has now been blown, since it will take weeks for the ballots to be reprinted. The court also ordered a pause in ballot distribution. Democratic Party attorneys fought the ruling and may appeal to the state Supreme Court. Paul Cox, the North Carolina Board of Elections General Counsel, sent an email to county officials, elections directors, after the ruling, telling them to hold on to the current ballots with Kennedy's name on them. More than 2.9 million absentee and in-person ballots have been printed so far. So perhaps the appeal will go through. Kennedy will remain on the ballot. Bill Maher is upset at the way RFK's wife has been treated, apparently. I've spoken about her a couple of different times because her name is Cheryl Hines. She plays Cheryl on Curb Your Enthusiasm, my favorite show of all time. But she's also married to a friggin' nut job.
A couple of weeks ago, Bobby Kennedy, scion of the most storied dynasty in Democratic Party history, dropped out of the presidential race and threw his support not to the Democrat, but to Trump. And everyone all at once said the same thing. Bobby Kennedy did something weird? A Kennedy in league with a Republican? Why, that's like ordering white wine with Bear. Now look, I like Bobby and always will. And there are things he has been right about that no one else would touch. But yes, I also think he's weird. I couldn't support him for president. His wife is Cheryl Hines, who Larry David was quoted as describing as the best person I've ever met, the one person in Hollywood who doesn't have a single enemy. Well, now she does.
Well, she also apparently has come out very strongly against Trump in the past.
Because she didn't throw her husband under the bus when her husband made a decision about something which she's made plain she disagrees with, but that didn't satisfy the obnoxious posers on the aforementioned far left. Thousands tweet screamed at Cheryl things like, "How do you live with yourself? Do better. I can't even enjoy the episodes of Curb Your Enthusiasm with you in them anymore. It's no wonder Larry divorced you."
That's like all of them. They were never married.
Character on TV, but okay.
Well, that's Seth MacFarlane for a second. I don't believe it is.
The tweet that got the most attention was from actor Bradley Whitford, who wrote, "Hey, Cheryl Hines, way to stay silent while your lunatic husband throws his support behind the adjudicated rapist who brags about stripping women of their fundamental rights. Gutsy. Great example for the kids, profiling courage." Yeah.
Kendrick Lamar.
You know what I think is not gutsy mansplaining to a woman, but of course not to her face. How she should sacrifice her marriage. Also, you could read something on Twitter that met with your approval. You want to know why I have a bug up my ass about the left more than I used to? It's
because you're an old ass fucking rich motherfucking piece of shit.
The liberals I grew up respecting, none of them are like this. Going after the wife, even the mafia doesn't do that.
She's a fucking public figure.
There's a lot of people these days who
It would be different if she hadn't publicly made her distaste of Trump known, and if she wasn't a public figure. You can't be upset that a public figure gets criticized. That's not how it works.
Call liberals in theory. In theory, they hate bullying. Terrible. In practice, their attitude is, it's not bullying when I stick your head in the toilet. In theory, liberals are compassionate. In practice, this guy can't even understand one of the most basic dilemmas common to all humans, that when you're married, sometimes you have to swallow some shit.
Josephus, good evening. I mean, what the actual fuck is usually the appropriate response to whatever the fuck. Down in Florida, Ron DeSantis is trying to pull some skullduggery. A phrase you're gonna hear in just a little bit. Quesadilla, good evening. DeSantis administration reviewing abortion amendment petitions for fraudsters. Two election supervisors said the state's request was highly unusual. Florida's Department of State is examining thousands of petition signatures that were used to get the abortion amendment on November ballots, saying it's looking for fraud. By the way, it is the two amendments animating two different cohorts that may put Florida in play. If Florida is put in play, which is a big if, it is the two amendments, the abortion amendment and it is the weed amendment. And that is what will drive people out to the polls and could possibly tip the state for Democrats. Highly unlikely. But apparently, polls are closing for Rick Scott and his challenger, Debbie Mercurio, blah, blah, blah. I forgot what her name is. Sorry. Weed and abortion are on the ballot, and people like weed and people like having autonomy over their bodies. Move that supporters of the amendment fear it could be political interference. Governor Ron DeSantis' Deputy Secretary of State has asked supervisors in Hillsborough, Orange, Palm Beach, and Osceola, boom, there we go. Osceola counties to gather roughly 36,000 signatures for the state to review. Osceola. The signatures were among the nearly 1 million collected and verified by local supervisors. Also, CSW, good evening, my friend. And verified by local supervisors as belonging to real Floridians to permit Amendment 4 to appear before voters in November. The amendment would protect abortion access and undo the state's 6-week abortion ban that DeSantis championed. Remember that thing about sending it back to the states and let the states decide? Whether the request could be used to challenge the amendment or strike it from the ballot is not clear. A deadline in state law to challenge the validity of the signatures has long passed. Defeating the amendment has become a top priority for DeSantis this fall. The governors organized and supported one of the main groups opposing the initiative. Two supervisors told the Times on Wednesday that the state's inquiries were highly unusual. I have never in my tenure had a request like this one, said Osceola County Supervisor of Elections Mary Jane Arrington, a Democrat who has been on the job for 16 years. Brad McVeigh, Deputy Secretary of State for Legal Affairs and Elections Integrity, made the request. phone calls and follow-up emails since late last month, he told supervisors that the office was investigating ballot petition fraud. Because of course they are. That's another thing to remind everyone: you need to check your voter registration. Check your voter registration. Right-wingers have been purging people from the voter rolls all across the country, particularly in Texas, in Virginia, in Pennsylvania, in Florida. I would not trust anywhere. I would make sure that your license is up to date if you can. Make sure your address matches your voter registration. Make sure you are registered if you intend to vote. But how can you not go and vote for this woman? I'm going to cuck for Kamala right now. She made this lady in a Pittsburgh store cry. That's what joy is about. Making women in a candle store cry.
I'm pretty sure you know.
Oh, it's gonna be good. We're gonna be good.
He doesn't, ma'am.
We're gonna be fine. We are all in this together.
Yes, we are.
People that are politicians
We are.
Yes, we are.
Huh?
are sociopathic. Have sociopathic tendencies.
Oh,
How you survive in politics.
it's all good. We're standing strong, right? We love our country. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's right.
She's just a tool.
A new friend.
It's a new friend.
New friend.
I'm a lawyer in Pittsburgh here, and I just admire your work so much.
Good. What kind of law you practice?
Consumer protection.
Good for you.
I'm protecting consumers.
Good for you. You know, that's the work I did as AG.
Yes,
That's good
yes,
stuff.
yes.
That's
Can I
really
please
good.
go?
Of course. Come on. Let's do it. Come on.
Oh my God, I'm shaking.
She's got a really southern accent and she's hugging those women.
Who are the yellow jackets? Come here.
They're my school.
They're your school? What school is that?
Freeport.
I don't think this is a fake video.
Charlotte.
Nice to meet you, Charlotte. I'm Kamala. Are you cooking also? What are you doing here? Or did you bring an adult with you? Or you just hanging out?
How are you? I mean the...
Yes, come here. Of course.
Oh no, I'll show you weird here in a second.
Has it started? Yeah? It's going.
The campaign has gone in and scouted the place. They've gotten permission to bring Harris in there, but I don't think the people would have known. They might know something's going on when cameras start coming beforehand. That woman was not the only one crying today, though. Donald Trump took to Truth Social to cry. Cease and desist. I, together with many attorneys and legal scholars, am watching the sanctity of the 2024 presidential election very closely because I know, better than most, the rampant cheating and skullduggery that has taken place by the Democrats in the 2020 presidential election. It was a disgrace to our nation. Therefore, the 2024 election, where votes have just started being cast, will be under the closest professional scrutiny. And when I win, those people that cheated will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, which will include long-term prison sentences, so that the depravity of justice... There's no way Donald Trump knows the word depravity. Does not happen again. We cannot let our country further devolve into a third world nation, and we won't! Please beware that this legal exposure extends to lawyers, political operatives, donors, illegal voters, and corrupt election officials. Those involved in unscrupulous behavior will be sought out, caught, and prosecuted at levels, unfortunately, never seen before in our country. I refuse to accept that he knows what the word depravity means. However, that last fucking sentence is him, and he said that. Those involved in unscrupulous, though, that's a fucking big word, will be sought out, caught, and prosecuted at levels, unfortunately, never seen before in our country. That's Donald Trump. Trump is now proposing two of the largest ever federal arrests of people living in America, including U.S. citizens, if he's reelected. On his Truth Social platform last night, threatened to jail adversaries, including Democratic donors. Dip, good evening. I look over, your first word is Trump, and I'm like, Trump, good evening. Dip, my friend, good evening. I don't know, I can see him knowing skullduggery because he's heard it on a TV show. There's some skullduggery afoot. Trump asked by Time magazine in April about his plans for the largest deportation of undocumented immigrants in American history, said he has no choice. I don't believe this is sustainable for a country. What's happening to us with probably 15 million and maybe as many as 20 million by the time Biden's out. 20 million people, many of them from jails, many of them from prisons, many of them from mental institutions. Trump is saying with specificity how he would increase the use of federal power if he returns to the White House. No need to rely on what adversaries and allies say. He says it himself. Trump's public appearances have grown more erratic and incendiary at a time when many top Republicans want him to focus more on substantive arguments against terrorists, as if he has substantive arguments. Trump's debate with Vice President Harris is coming up on Tuesday night, and his new threat is a likely topic. Trump's claims of widespread fraud in 2020 have been debunked. We know this. I wouldn't have known if he had spelled skullduggery incorrectly, because I don't know how skullduggery is spelled. But that is our word of the day, apparently. It is skullduggery. He is being more and more erratic. It seems like he is losing it. Earlier today, he gave a shout out to his good friend. No, not Hannibal Lecter. Not the late, great Hannibal Lecter. Elon Musk.
Boeing had a little, I shouldn't say there's a beautiful Boeing plane there, but Boeing had a little hard time, as you heard. So they're going to save, Leon's going to send up a rocket. He looks forward to it. That's all he thinks about is things like that. Boeing had a little, I shouldn't say there's a beautiful Boeing plane there, but Boeing had a little hard time, as you heard. So they're going to save, Leon's going to send up a rocket. He looks forward to it. That's all he thinks about is things like that.
Leon's going to send up a rocket. He misspelled skullduggery. He called Elon Leon. What do they call it? That's a palindrome, right? Because that's the letters rearranged. Did he palindrome in his head? Maybe you're wondering where Melania has been. Just like Paris Hilton. Come out from the shadows to drop something new on us. Out of the blue.
The 2020 election results changed our lives forever. It impacted our quality of life, cost of food, gasoline, safety, and even the geopolitical landscape.
I don't know, DJ Dub.
America is more divided.
I thought it was where you rearranged the letters.
Before. It has become increasingly apparent
I might be wrong.
that there are significant challenges to free speech, as demonstrated by the efforts to silence my husband.
What's the one where you rearrange the letters? I don't understand what the book is about. Also a book, an anagram. There we go. I'm sorry. My apologies. Can anyone make an anagram out of Melania? I don't know what the book is about. She's like, they tried to silence my husband. Husband. New book, Melania.
The 2020
I anal me. Oh my God.
Forever. It impacted our.
Well, if you're going to anal me.
Life is too short to walk this earth for a crusty asshole. Wash your ass.
Absolutely, I need to pack a new one. That's what I was going to do.
Our quality of life.
What's the book about?
Food, gasoline, safety, and even the geopolitical landscape.
What you know about the price of gasoline?
Than ever before. It has become increasingly apparent that there are significant challenges to free speech.
Light one up, tip one back.
By the efforts to silence my husband. The 2020 election results changed.
Meat cakes, what kind of pizza you make? What style of pizza? Do you guys think that this was AI? This wasn't even Melania, was it? Oh my God! $40 base price, $75 signed, $250 for the collector's edition, which includes the signature, bonus photographs, and digital collectible. Apparently a white cover, the other two had black covers. Hand tossed like New York. That's the style of pizza I like best, meat cakes. That's my favorite. Melania. Anybody gonna read Melania? Is that on your fall reading list? Maybe when you're traveling for the holidays? You sell Christian journals like those? What do you mean by Christian journals? They're just books people can write in that you mark up because you have a religious branding. That sounds kind of fucking hypocritical to the Christian cause. Does it come with bonus photographs? Illustrations on them with Jesus and cross and Bible verse. That's still that sing and like it's quite a markup, isn't it? I don't know, man. Sounds cute, but like also like you're turning your religion into a business, and like I've read Jesus. Don't tax the rich. Why would we not tax the rich? Tax the rich like way more. The best times in this country is when we tax the rich. You tell me Donald Trump says he wants to make America great again. You tell me a time when America was great, and I'll tell you what the tax rate on the top 1% was. But my brother, you are far more likely to be homeless than you are to be rich. And that's just statistics, my friend. So John Rawls, the philosopher, had this thought experiment he did called the veil of ignorance. So when you're thinking about the society that you want to build and how you vote, you should put yourself behind a veil of ignorance so that you don't know if you're going to be handicapped, or if you're going to have like a below average intelligence, or that you're going to be born in a poor area to parents that don't have means, or maybe like you don't have one or both of your parents. Maybe you're in the foster care system. So if you put yourself behind that veil of ignorance and you don't know how your life circumstances would turn out, you will advocate for policies that will be much more effective for society, and a more equitable and just society will be built. I'm not high enough for this shit. You know what else I'm not high enough for? Kimberly Guilfoyle. Apparently she had a speech at the Florida Republican convention, maybe? Florida Republican gathering.
Taste of victory. Let's taste it again on November 5th. Who's with me? All right. Good evening.
Wait, what? I got to go. What? Wait a minute, Snappa. Apparently, you haven't read the Bible, my friend. Like the Bible, like Jesus makes multiple mentions of, it's easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than it is to get into heaven. Tells the rich man to give everything he owns to the poor if he wants to be perfect, to follow him. Like multiple times he speaks out about money and wealth, not just the love of, but that's always what I get from Christians. I'm taking it out of context. It's the love of money. To which I also respond that like Donald Trump is like the embodiment of the love of money. But like Jesus advocated for the poor, the sick, the downtrodden. Like that's literally all he ever fucking talks about. How to treat foreigners in your country. How to that I'm not supposed to know you by the fact that you're selling journals. I'm supposed to know you by like the good works that you do by going and helping others. Jesus was not filthy rich. I have been lied to by all of record. Like, wow, this is wild. Are you telling me that the words in the Bible, the red letters that I've been quoting to you, oh, you guys are, if you're watching on Twitch, I guess we'll go ahead, we'll take the ad break here. I'm fascinated by Snappa, but I'm gonna have to move on. No. Let's do Kimberly Guilfoyle, and we'll come back and we'll move on to other things. Kimberly Guilfoyle at a Florida Republican event. Hayes, good evening.
Taste of victory. Let's taste it again on November 5th. Who's with me? All right. Good evening. America needs who? Say his name. Donald Trump. More than ever. We're out of the White House. Are you with me?
Got video fucking up over here.
Country back on track. Has witnessed in the world his resilience.
Me Cakes, thank you for the resub.
And we lift the American worker. We will.
I don't know what's going on with this browser. We're gonna go to a different browser. Apparently it is September and there's like a kind of a discount. Also over on like YouTube and the Patreon, I've got like more exclusive content I've put up. I've actually been putting in the work. Do check out the Freakin News. It has made its return. Tomorrow's is especially good. I do believe. Here's Kimberly Guilfoyle at this Republican event.
Of victory.
Hopefully not the remix
Taste it
version.
again on November 5th. Who's with me?
I want to taste anything with Kimberly Guilfoyle.
All right, all right. Good evening. America needs who?
It's not the browser.
Donald Trump.
It's Twitter.
More than ever. We're out of the White House. Are you with me? To get this country back on track. Has witnessed in the world his resilience. And we lift the American worker. We will go to bed at night that feels unrecognizable. I'm here to tell you.
This video's tripping.
Americans from all walks of life have had enough of the Democrats' decline, and we are ready. We are willing, and we are able to spark a new era of American exceptionalism. You can clap for that.
Please clap. Maybe it was edited that way.
And the world worse off. November 5th is coming, and Donald John Trump is coming with it. Deserve better. Do it for them. And Act 3 is the art of the comeback. Run towards the brighter days ahead. Victory is in our sights. America's future is in our hands.
Because if it's skipping, it's doing a really good job of skipping
Control. And America's
and sound bites.
Is in our hearts and souls. So my challenge to all of you.
I don't think the people are into it. Look at that big cross.
Stay in the fight. On to victory on November 5th. And God bless the United States of America. She's worth fighting for. Thank you so much.
Yeah, she's Catholic. What, censorship? What?
Please.
What censorship? You're watching on Twitch. You're going to go ahead and take the commercial break. Get the 3 minutes out of the way. That way you don't miss any content. I'm just going to get high with the chat. I'm going to talk to Snap about his crazy ass beliefs. But we got all kinds of crime shit, crazy shit coming up on the other side of the break. Laura Loomer eats dog food for some reason. All that and a lot freaking more on the other side of the break on the Troll Patrol live. I haven't even heard that. Like, I've been around so many different religious sects and Christian denominations and so many different people. I've never heard this Jesus was a rich man fucking bullshit. Or the what the fuck have you been reading? It's actually a rich king sitting on a throne. Does he still die on a cross in your... Like, what the... Like, I have read numerous translations of the Bible. None of them have that. Tartarians. What the fuck is a Tartarian? Mad, good evening. Jesus was a rich man with a tiny Peter. Jesus was the friends that we made along the way. The fuck are you talking about Victor's history? I'm not sure you know anything about history. Oh god, I'm gonna have to look up these. We still got like a minute and a half. The mud flood. Oh shit. I think producer Davis tried to explain this to me. Did I look this up one time? The Tartarian Empire refers to a group of pseudo-historical conspiracy theories, including ideas of a hidden past and mud floods, which originated as pseudoscientific Russian nationalism. Tartary or Tartaria is a historical name for Central Asia and Siberia. Conspiracy theories assert that Tartary, or the Tartarian Empire, was a lost civilization with advanced technology and culture. This ignores the well-documented history of Asia, which Tartary refers to. In the present day, the Tartary region covers a region spanning from central Afghanistan to northern Kazakhstan, as well as areas in present Mongolia, China, and the Russian Far East. In Chinese Tartaria. The theory of the Great Tartaria, the supposed lost land or civilization, originated in Russia, with aspects first appearing in Anatoly Fomenko's New Chronology, the mid-1970s and early 1980s, then popularized by the racial occult history of Nikolai Lebeshov. In Russian pseudoscience, known for its nationalism, Tartaria is presented as the real name for Russia, which was maliciously ignored in the West. The Russian Geographical Society has debunked the conspiracy theory as an extremist fantasy and, far from denying the existence of the term, has used the opportunity to share numerous maps of Tartaria in its collection. Since about 2016, conspiracy theories about the supposed lost empire of Tartaria have gained popularity on the internet, divorced from its original Russian nationalist frame. The globalized version of the conspiracy theory is based on an alternative view of architectural history. Adherents propose that demolished buildings, such as the Singer Building. If you like demolished buildings, stick around. I got one of those for you here in a little bit. Original New York Penn Station and the temporary grounds of the 1915 World's Fair were actually the buildings of a vast empire based in Tartaria that has been suppressed from history. Sumptuously styled Gilded Age buildings are often held out as really having been built by the supposed Tartaria. Other buildings, such as the Great Pyramids and the White House, are further held out as... You know exactly who built the White House? Photographs existed at that time. Other buildings, such as the Great Pyramids and the White House, are further held out as Tartarian buildings. The conspiracy theory only vaguely describes how such a supposedly advanced civilization had reputedly achieved world peace could have fallen and been hidden. It wasn't the White House that was burnt down, was it? That's why we built the White House, because whatever the presidential estate was burnt down. Am I wrong about that? Whatever it was before was burnt down by was it the French or the British? British. I'm not high enough for this shit. I'm still reading conspiracy theories over here. In the conspiracy theory, the idea that a mud flood wiped out... Oh, but it was the Canadians on behalf of the Crown. Wiped out much of the world via depopulation, and thus old buildings is common, supported by the fact that many buildings across the world have architectural elements like doors, windows, and archways submerged many feet below ground level. Both World War I and World War II is cited as a way in which Tartaria was destroyed and hidden, reflecting the reality that the extensive bombing... That's what you mean by the winners. When did the mental hospitals start? This is my friend Snappa. One of the things that I don't like about right-wingers is like you guys ask like weird questions like, when did the mental hospitals start popping up? I can tell you the time period and, when we started having modern medicine. We started diagnosing people with things, a lot of times wrongly, a lot of times doing some very crude experiments on them. Yeah, that's a lot of what you get with, your old tales of people that saw things or saw ghosts or had visions of God and shit. It was just people with undiagnosed mental illness, shit like schizophrenia. And people didn't know what the fuck it was, and we wrongly ascribed them as having some sort of supernatural powers or possession. Well, once again, the questions. Just state your point. Don't ask stupid ass questions. Cause like it's like all right wingers do this, and it's like really annoying. Like, come out and say what you mean, my friend. All right, let's get back to the news. Act like Q. I didn't say anything about Q, my friend. The whole question thing. You always got to. It's like riddles. Right wingers are always speaking in riddles to me. Don't do that. Just make your point. I don't get why it's always like dancing around the topic. All right, so like this is the transition from political news to crime news, but like you get like some stuff that's kind of in the fringe, right? So first up tonight, we've got a Las Vegas political candidate, a Republican, who was apparently attacked with a knife while out putting up campaign signs.
Brazen crime in broad daylight, all while putting up campaign signs. It happened east of Twin and Pecos. Stanley Vaughn says he was putting up a sign for himself as candidate for the state legislature and others. That's when a thief ambushed him with a knife.
And the guy just come up behind me, caught me by surprise and said, "Give me your wallet." And I turned around and then he started to lunge at me. Instinctively stepped back and kicked him, and then he ran away.
67-year-old Stan.
He stepped back and kicked him.
From a thief that tried to rob him. It happened in broad daylight last Thursday afternoon in the area of Twain and Pecos, with plenty of pedestrians, busy traffic, and school.
Video.
It was the one triple-digit day when other volunteers stayed inside. He decided to put up campaign signs alone. He's running on the Republican ticket for Assembly District 20.
I'm so focused on getting.
Yeah, I wonder if this is a stunt. I wonder, because I hate to be skeptical, but we have seen Republicans do shit like cut themselves and accuse other people. I want to see some evidence that there was ever this person, especially since he talked about he kicked him and he ran away. Dude had a knife. He kicked him. The 67-year-old man kicked him. We're nuts.
And the guy just come up behind me, caught me by surprise and said, "Give me your wallet." And I turned around and then he started to lunge at me. Instinctively stepped back and kicked him, and then he ran away.
67-year-old Stan Vaughn got cut with a knife from a thief that tried to rob him.
It cuts like a knife.
Thursday afternoon in the area of traffic and schools. It was the one triple-digit day when other volunteers stayed inside. He decided to put up campaign signs alone. He's running on the Republican ticket for Assembly District 20.
I'm so focused on getting the cable ties through there and getting them through the fence. Wasn't paying attention to pedestrians and stuff coming down through here. Had my back turned. You could probably see my wallet in my back pocket. Had a knife. Jumped into the car, and then I'm realizing I'm bleeding.
The robber was disoriented and hadn't bathed in days. He suspects he was homeless. Las Vegas Metropolitan Police say it's isolated, still under investigation. And as far as detectives know, it's not tied to any other crimes.
I've lived here since '87. It's changed a lot.
The security and metro liaison for his HOA lives a couple miles away, but has area crime on his mind. Taking a look at stats in the 89121 zip code and beyond. In all of the Southeast Area Command, robberies are down 33%. Thefts are down 11%. Police say they continue to focus on solving crimes. Vaughn worries if enough of his neighbors are reporting them. Go out and do signs alone. Do you feel comfortable going back?
No, my campaign manager is not going to let me.
Police say when you're a victim of a crime like this, immediately call 911. It'll help police track down the perpetrator. District 20 Assemblyman David Orentlicker said he is concerned about the attack on his opponent, says everyone should feel safe in their communities and hopes the suspect gets caught.
Okay, Snappa. First of all, I like the fact that you hit the ball. Light one up, tip one back. I think this is a good learning experience. We'll do a little practical reasoning here with what's. It's a bowl. One of the Tartarians were the Native Americans, and they got attacked because they threw some tea in the river. It was a Yankee dressed as an Indian, but I think it was a Native Tartarian who did this, and a war went on that involved mental brainwashing of the populace through mental institutes, religious dogma, and false news and rumors. I would say there are two parts to this, and they kind of go hand in hand. There's a like a thing that went around, and conspiracy theories really underestimate the power of people working in groups and their ability to get things done. You like someone who thinks this grand conspiracy can be carried out has never had to work as like a project manager before. And then two on top of that is like people don't keep their mouths shut about fucking anything. All these conspiracies take people like being in on it and staying fucking mouth shut, and that never fucking happens. We always know fucking everything because people told it and wrote it down. And we have detailed history of all these events. And like getting into certain things like fucking World War I and World War II, we've got pictures and videos of that. World War II, we have videos of that fucking shit. So in order to just because like another critical practical reasoning axiom would be Occam's razor. The most likeliest the simplest scenario is always the most likely scenario, and the simplest scenario is that history happened the way you taught it, my friend. The idea that we wiped out some fucking technologically advanced civilization, especially when we're getting up into like the 1900s, if industrialists could have fucking exploited technology, they absolutely would. The North Koreans disagree. I don't know what you mean by that. What you mean by North Korea? We're going to a judge who apparently is on audio admitting that she is racist. I don't know where this happened. Oakland County. Okay, it may have happened in Oakland County in California.
Decisions for families and those with disabilities, now accused of making racist comments and using shocking, derogatory language. Thank you for joining us for 7 News Detroit at 6. I'm Mike Duffy. 7 investigator Heather Catallo joins us now with more.
Duffy.
The county probate judge has been removed from her docket. Heather?
Mike, a high-ranking probate court official says he's been recording Judge Kathleen Ryan's statements for years. Even though probate court administrator Edward Hutton says he's been harassed by Judge Ryan, he says he does not want this to be about him. Hutton says he's coming forward now because he wants to protect the people who have to face Judge Ryan in the courtroom.
The Honorable Kathleen A. Ryan presiding. Good morning. You may be seated.
After more than 13 years on the bench, Oakland County Chief Probate Pro Tem Judge Kathleen Ryan is out of her courtroom. Chief Probate Judge Linda Hallmark removed Judge Ryan from her docket last week, announcing that a complaint about internal allegations of unprofessional conduct was sent to the Judicial Tenure Commission. Judge Ryan was arrested in 2021 for domestic violence, but those charges were later dismissed. And now she's back in the headlines.
Well, if you're black from any other country, you're doing way better. If you're an American black person, then you're a lazy piece of
The 7 investigations recordings that county officials say prompted Judge Ryan's removal.
Oh, he's just I have no use for him.
She's made it a living hell in the past 6 years. I mean, it's been terrible. It's cost me relationships. I think it's affected my health. Can't sleep.
Attorney Edward Hutton is the Oakland County Probate Court Administrator. He's in charge of running everything that's not under the judge's purview inside one of the state's largest probate courts. Hutton alleges Judge Ryan has been calling him both during work and after hours for years. And Hutton says during those hours and hours of calls, Judge Ryan said highly inappropriate things. Why did you start recording the call?
He Linda tripped her.
Like, it wasn't going to change. Nothing's manipulated in it. It's conversations that I was a part of, and I'm absolutely willing to testify to the authenticity of every single one of them.
I can honestly say that, okay, I'm not systemically racist, I'm a new racist. I never was, but now I am because you're shoving the down my throat and making allegations that you don't know about. You're telling me who I am and you've never met me. You. You.
Hutton says the judge also used homophobic slurs about other elected officials.
You know,
and that's not all.
A lot of times they were conversations about sexual encounters that she's having with various individuals. I mean, in intimate detail.
Hutton says for years he felt like he had to play along.
He lives in sexual anarchy, too.
And he says for years he was afraid to speak up.
I didn't want to lose my job, and I didn't want to be in her crosshairs. It's such a David and Goliath situation. I don't have the power. I'm not elected. I could get fired tomorrow.
On May 24th, Hutton says he sent Chief Judge Linda Hallmark a notice of sexual harassment.
For 3 months, nothing happened.
That's why on August 22nd, Hutton says he decided to send the recordings to the Chief Justice of the state Supreme Court, Oakland County Executive David Coulter, and other public officials. And he also contacted
Michigan.
I just want to make it right. I haven't filed a lawsuit. I'm not looking for a payday. I want to keep my job and do it in peace. And I want the people in Oakland County that come to court to get a fair shake, to have their day in court, to have an unbiased trier of fact.
In that email, Hutton said Judge Ryan, quote, has vocalized her hate and contempt for various protected groups. Once the recordings were shared with those state and county officials, Judge Ryan was removed from her docket. In a statement, County Executive Coulter said, quote, there is absolutely no place for harassment of any kind or for racist or homophobic language by anyone at Oakland County, especially by someone the public must be confident will act fairly and impartially. The alleged conduct.
And somebody mentioned Jordan Peterson. She got taken out by the woke moralists.
Up yours, woke moralists. We'll see who cancels who.
And abhorrent comments made by Judge Ryan merited her removal from the probate court docket pending further investigation. Is Judge Ryan fit to be on the bench?
Absolutely not. Nobody with that much hate in their heart for certain people or certain groups of people, I don't believe that they could possibly make fair, unbiased decisions regarding them.
I did reach out to Judge Kathleen Ryan to talk to her about this. Her attorneys sent me this statement that says, quote, we respect the authority of the Michigan Supreme Court. However, we look forward to vindicating Judge Ryan in the appropriate forum. I also spoke to probate judge Daniel O'Brien. He says Judge Ryan's friends are supporting her and believe these statements are totally out of character for her.
All right, certainly a lot here, but what's next with the Judicial Tenure Commission?
Well, they cannot confirm or deny whether.
Listen, the Mossad does some shady shit, but I would be surprised if they even knew who Jordan Peterson was, and he works for a Jewish man.
They are pursuing an investigation. There has been some reporting that suggested that the complaint against the judge involved an inappropriate personal relationship. Hutton says that is not true. He says there was no physical contact. This was strictly a sexual harassment complaint about her alleged comments that started all of this. But again, he says the bigger issue here is what the judge says about people in protected classes, and he's hoping that that is what the JTC will focus on. So everybody's just sort of waiting to see what they will do.
And it sounds like this is in its early days. We know that you're going to stay on top of it, so
we will follow it.
Appreciate it.
Yes, Snap it. When conflicting information is presented to you, you have to disregard it somehow by saying, it is a shoe. A cop apparently known for conspiracy theories. Maybe he believes in Tartarians, my friend. Cop that believes in conspiracy theories raided apparently in Millersville, Tennessee.
As the TBI zeroes in on Millersville police, the department's controversial assistant chief and his allies now going on the attack. Thanks for joining us. I'm Rory Johnston.
And I'm Carrie Sharp. Not long after the TBI wrapped up its raid yesterday in Millersville, Assistant Chief Sean Taylor turned to some far-right allies to tell his story. News Channel 5 Chief Investigative Reporter Phil Williams has the latest.
As the TBI was raiding Millersville police on Wednesday, Sean Taylor sent out a short video to rally his allies. Before the night was up, he and his friends were throwing out some brand new allegations.
We are live with breaking news, the biggest corruption story in America.
In the darkest corners of the internet were the most bizarre theories of the
From the biggest corruption story on the internet, brought to you by some dude named Mark A. in his car at a gas station.
In the darkest corners of the internet where the most bizarre theories of the QAnon conspiracy movement abound.
From the harvesting of organs to adrenochrome. Guys, this is real stuff.
The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation raids on the Millersville Police Department are fueling new conspiracies.
Sean Taylor, Assistant Chief of Millersville Police Department, just had his home invaded with no warrant.
In fact, the search of Sean Taylor's home was based on a warrant issued by a judge.
Chief Taylor's in the house.
Oh, well, it's been a heck of a day today, gentlemen.
On another podcast, the conspiracy-minded assistant police chief presented himself as a victim.
It's very disheartening to know that you have law enforcement at the state level, district attorneys and judges that are executing search warrants on an agency that is trying to take out corruption.
Agents were looking for files that Taylor and Millersville PD may have compiled using sensitive law enforcement data as he pursued his bizarre conspiracy theories, potentially even investigating his political enemies.
And one of the TBI agents that we were looking at, and you know, we believe we've got reasonable suspicion to believe that he's involved because his name keeps popping up. He was one of the ones that helped execute the search warrant today on us.
Taylor has claimed that some of the most powerful political figures in the world are involved in child sex trafficking.
Cool people in chat, shut the fuck up if you ever have a warrant executed on you. Shut the fuck up. Cop pulls you over, shut the fuck up. If you're not cool, talk all you want to. Tell them everything. You will get out of it if you tell them everything. If you're not cool, you're not gonna be able to play along with the cops. See what I'm saying? So you need to tell them everything. Snappa, you ever get pulled over? Tell them everything. You tell them everything you've been doing that night. Because that's the best way. That's the best way to handle the situation. People that are cool can handle the situation. Just shut the fuck up.
Search warrant today on us.
Taylor has claimed that some of the most powerful political figures in the world are involved in child sex trafficking, and he now claims TBI Director David Roush was put in place by that same cabal.
Sean Taylor
investigated and he found out too much. That's my personal opinion.
Also coming to Taylor's defense, the man behind what appears to have been a botched child predator sting run by a controversial nonprofit group out of Tucson. Following questions raised by News Channel 5 Investigates, agents were looking for evidence that the lead detective in that case may have committed perjury.
So that's inside baseball. That's law enforcement stuff. That's not the business of any news.
Not gonna lie, if I saw this guy on Grindr, I'd at least be like, hey, I bet you got a nice looking dick. 9 out of 10 times he'll totally send it to me. But like, I'd be like, I'll suck it if you let me.
Reporter, and that's not my business. So
while the TBI continues its investigation, Sean Taylor,
there's a lot of guys like that on Grindr,
to rally like-minded people to rise up in opposition to the scrutiny he now faces.
This needs to reach the highest levels. This needs to go national.
And there was
that is
some
Phil Williams. He's amazing.
That they do expect some prominent people on the far right to soon come to his defense. Of course, we'll be watching. Phil Williams, News Channel 5 Investigates.
Phil Williams in Nashville does a bang-up job. Conspiracy cop raided by the FBI. Meanwhile, we've got this police department. They hired a cop in, apparently knowing that the officer had sex with an inmate previously in Summit County, Ohio, maybe?
2022, April Woodside was hired by the Summit County Sheriff's Office to work as a deputy at the jail. Just 4 months into the job, records show she began sending these risque photos of herself to a male inmate. According to investigators,
is it wrong of me to go back because, like, she got a nice ass? PVR, what's going on, my friend? Is it purgatory? Have I been saying it wrong? Did you give me a phonetical pronunciation? She's got a nice ass. I don't blame her for showing it off.
You live in sexual anarchy?
Apparently.
Job. Records show she began sending these risque photos of herself to a male inmate. According to investigators, when questioned about it, Woodside admitted to having sex with the prisoner. A deputy having sex with an inmate is a third-degree felony.
Damn.
Ohio law states it's illegal for someone to have sexual conduct with another when the other person is in custody of law and the offender has supervisory
Purgatoris, good evening.
Authority over the other person. She was fired immediately, and records show the incident was reported to the state. Our review of Woodside's internal investigation found she not only admitted to having sex with the inmate, but also smuggling in an iPhone into his cell. Records show investigators then began monitoring messages on the inmate's jail-issued tablet in 2022. They found he and Woodside texted each other more than 700 in 1 month. Those messages include profane sexual language and dozens of provocative photos of Woodside posing in skimpy outfits. One night, Woodside texted the inmate asking him to prop his cell door open so she could get in to have sex with him without using her key. They even discussed marriage, Woodside sending him this photo of an engagement ring she had already picked out.
How can he open his door? He's in a prison. What? Also, she don't look like that in the other pictures.
Woodside posing in skimpy outfits. One night, Woodside texted the inmate asking him to prop his cell door open so she could get in to have sex with him without using her key. They even discussed marriage, Woodside sending him this photo of an engagement ring she had already picked out. Meanwhile, 19 Investigates discovered Woodside was hired this past February as a police officer at University Hospital's Ahuja Medical Center in Beechwood. So how did she get another job in law enforcement after being fired for such serious allegations? The sheriff's office says it's conducting a criminal investigation, but they won't tell us when it began. We do know.
How'd she get out of jail time? If it was a first-time offender, they let her off on probation or something?
That Woodside has not been charged with any crimes. We asked UH if they contacted the sheriff's office prior to hiring.
Wasn't charged.
This afternoon, they sent us the following statement. During the hiring process, University Hospital's HR conducted a formal background check and followed standard processes. Nothing of concern, including criminal activity, was found during review. As of this morning, Ms. Woodside was placed on leave while UH conducts its own investigation.
And we did reach out to Woodside, but she said she had no comment. Earlier this week, the Summit County Sheriff's Office agreed to speak with us, but they later decided not to. They did, however, confirm the criminal case is still ongoing. Mike Mason, 19 News.
Is it wrong that I really don't care about them? But the fact that she slept with an inmate, like fucking, like God, like go good for the inmate. Get it, you know, if you can, like what the fuck? Wrong with me? Is that what you're saying, Prometheus? Go ahead and hit the content warning for this. I don't think anybody died in this one. It is just another day. Are you saying that you would fuck inmates if you worked in a jail? If you were an inmate and you had the chance to fuck a guard or a deputy, you'd do it? 'Cause I totally would. Yeah, that will. I think a dude with a woman is different than a woman with a dude. No, we can't get into that. We can't have double standards. I need to be titty slapped.
A titty slap!
Come on now.
You're right, Mary Jane. That's probably why we really need to protect against it. Yep, Flash, you're right. You're right. That is wrong of me. You guys, thank you. Keep me on the straight and narrow. Because it's not all like, you know, the love story that we got out of Alabama where the woman ran off, like broke the dude out of jail and ran off with him. That one was kind of fun, right? Well, they both died in a shootout. Speaking of shootout, it was just another day. This time in Kentucky, on an interstate.
I'm your host, Carla Hada. I want to get to some breaking news. We are now getting an update from investigators down on the scene in Kentucky regarding a shooting that happened on Interstate 75 Saturday evening. Here is the update happening now, live.
Everybody's ready to roll.
As of the time that we came on, they have not caught the shooter. I'll see if I can get you an update. But as of like an hour and a half, 2 hours ago, no, they had not caught the shooter.
Real good. Everybody ready? Okay, just questions? We're still searching. And we're going to continue to search until it gets dark.
Looks like there's no update
for us to be in the woods. We've not had any luck so far. No trace so far. No information or evidence that's at the scene to indicate that he's there. But we believe that he's there.
At what point do you expand the search parameters? And do you have any more information about like what that parameter is looking like?
Well, we're expanding it as we search, as we go along, and as time permits, and as the as it gets dark, we just can't be in the woods anymore.
You said earlier that some of his actions appear planned. Expand on that a little bit.
Well, let's look at the whole situation.
Somebody's papaw.
Abandoned up there. He abandons his weapon that he used, and he's apparently still in that area. It's probably one of the most remote exits along the interstate. It just looks like it was a planned event.
Planned for that spot. What you're saying.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Planned for that spot.
They know the victim.
Because of the remoteness and the ability to haul that.
Correct. Yes.
You mentioned earlier that you recovered a phone. I believe the battery had been taken out of it.
That's so we can't ping.
Sure. But do you think that he's using telecommunications in some capacity, or social media, or?
We think it's extremely possible. Yes, sir. We will stay until it gets dark, and we anticipate being right back up there in the morning. And again,
this is in eastern Kentucky.
We have a lot of resources up there, and
outside of London, Kentucky.
At the scene, we obviously believe that he's still in that area.
Has a decision been made about closing schools?
East of Lexington.
Laurel County Schools and East Bernstadt, which is an independent district, have both closed for tomorrow. Yes.
When you say that you're packing up for the night, do you withdraw all? Can you just kind of explain what the overnight patrol
just the people that's on the ground in the immediate search area. We're going to continue to contain the area. We're going to continue to have people in the woods. We're not actively searching, of course, but in strategic positions to observe. We're also going to have people down next to the service station. What if he tries to come down and buy him a pop or whatever? We want to be there. But we're going to have the area contained as best that we can.
Are you still hopeful you're going to find him today?
I hope we do. I would love it if we found him.
This is about 6 o'clock this evening is when this press conference happened.
Continues, it becomes more stressful for the community. It becomes more stressful for the officers that are there because we're looking, and we're trying to find him. And
there have been reports that there were multiple shooters.
It's just stressful.
But he is saying he.
Is there a chance that he's not in the area?
It's very possible, yes, sir, but not probable.
Why not probable?
Because of some other information that we have that we cannot release. That's the nicest way I can say that.
I'm sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, that's okay.
Would it be accurate to say that you probably won't move from that spot unless you get a report that he's been seen in Knox County or some credible report that he's been seen somewhere else?
Correct, yes. And when we do get tips, and we are getting them in other locations in the Tri-County area, we've had numerous.
I don't think you understand where he is the sheriff at.
At Walmart, and we followed up on the leads. I'm not saying don't call us because maybe one of those leads will pan out. Call us and we'll check it because that's what.
This dude looks like the most Barney Fife real life analog that you've ever seen because he is in a town that would require a Barney Fife analog as the sheriff. Ain't shit ever happened in his town. There may be, because I am very familiar with the area. This is about an hour away from where I grew up. The town maybe has 300 people, 400 people. I might be being generous. There is literally nobody fucking there. I am from a town of about 1,200, and that's the big town in the area. I'm from the major town in eastern Kentucky, and fucking this town ain't shit. The only thing they have is a few fast food restaurants, maybe a Cracker Barrel off of the interstate. That's all they are. Like an interstate stop.
What we do, but we still think that he's in that area up there.
What is the fact that you're getting so many tips from elsewhere say to you, though, about the interest in the community or what the community sees this?
People are watching it on the news. They're following us on Facebook and on social media, and they want to be involved. They want to help, and they want to help us get this guy off the street.
You get a sense that people are worried about him being out there and keeping your word?
Sure. And we're all worried about him being out there. I mean, if we found one weapon there's a possibility that there's another weapon. Why would he leave a weapon behind? So there's a possibility that there's another weapon. So do we really want this guy running around loose with another weapon? Definitely not.
I mean, that makes sense, doesn't it, Deputy Dog?
You know, I don't have a lot of information on that yet, and we are trying to figure out where it came from.
You're slackjaw.
Can you comment at this point? There's been a lot of flack on social media, as you know, that he bought the gun Saturday before the shooting. Can you know if that's true or not?
We're looking at that.
How long are your state and federal partners committed to devoting resources to this search?
You know, as long as we continue to believe that he is in that area.
Oh, snap it, they believe it's planned.
This is a big deal. I mean, 5 innocent people were shot. I think they're in it with us until we get this guy, whether it's up there or somewhere else.
Have you spoken to family of the suspect? Have they given you any insight as to why he may have done this?
I think there has been
I didn't realize this was going to be all press conference. I want to get... a hail.
Had multiple gunshot victims on I-75. The victims have been shot through the windshield.
This morning, the urgent manhunt after a shooting and crash on a Kentucky highway left several injured.
His car took the rounds on the driver's side.
And the busy interstate shut down for hours. Right now, police searching for this man, 32-year-old Joseph Couch, calling him a person of interest and armed and dangerous. But they have not been able to determine if he is the gunman. It happened around 5:30 Saturday evening, just north of London, a small city about 75 miles south of Lexington. Authorities saying 9 vehicles traveling both north and southbound were shot at, leaving 5 people shot, including one in the face, 2 other injuries in a crash.
A couple of our deputies actually, because of the severity of the injuries, loaded the people up, the injured persons, and transported them to London Hospital.
Overnight, London's mayor warning residents to stay home, be vigilant, and call 911 if they're in danger. The shooting and crash closing I-75 for more than 3 hours as first responders converged on the area.
It was a madhouse. People on the sides of the road, emergency flashers going, bullet holes, windows shot out.
Christina Donato was heading southbound to Tennessee along with her friend.
All of a sudden, we just heard this loud, deafening sound, and my right ear started ringing, and we didn't know what the sound was, but we both looked at each other and said, "Was that a gunshot?"
When she arrived in Knoxville, this damage on her car, now thinking a bullet may have hit or ricocheted off of it.
Watch breaking news on YouTube. Subscribe to ABC7.
There you have it. That's why an ambush on an interstate. Not the only mass shooting happening this weekend in the United States. Go to Queens, where a manhunt also underway.
New overnight gunshots. They rang out through a neighborhood in Laurelton. Police say 3 people were shot during a party. Eyewitness News reporter Phil Tate has been covering this all morning long for us. And Phil, you brought us new information in the last half hour.
Yeah, Pedro, good morning. Police sources tell us that of the 3 men who were shot, one of them was a DJ, and that they had told police that when they were loading their things into the van after the party was over, well, that was when they were shot at. I spoke with a neighbor just a short time ago. They tell me that there was a kid's party that was going on. I want you all to take a look right now at those balloons that are still hanging this morning, and as an active investigation is underway, this entire area blocked off by police. So many questions still left unanswered after the shooting incident just minutes after 1 a.m. Well, this video from overnight as cops were on scene canvassing the area for any clues that would just provide some answers as to what exactly happened in the moments leading up to the shooting incident and who the gunman is. Well, as for the victims, a 33-year-old man who was shot in the torso, a 24-year-old man shot in the neck. Now, both of them are in stable condition this morning. Now, a 24-year-old man is in critical who was shot in the torso, and for one neighbor, they say they haven't seen violence like this on their doorstep.
The last 3 years is a lot of violence. It wasn't like this before. Violence still happens in New York, but I think the crime rate just going high and high and high.
It's not.
So we really need to change something.
God damn.
Now, an investigation is still underway as the gunman who pulled the trigger is still at large. Police have not made any arrests and do not have a description of the suspect that they are looking for this morning. But if anyone has any information that could help police, you are urged to give them a call right away. We're live in Laurelton this morning. I'm Phil Tate, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
It's all vibes with these people. School shooter's mother. The Georgia school shooting last week. She had some bad vibes the morning of and apparently contacted the school.
Now to the Georgia school shooting.
What a slick transition.
Now about what happened that morning. The alleged shooter's mom reportedly calling the school with a warning just a half hour before that shooting. And ABC's Faith Abube is in.
So, and they might go into it in this story, but like she didn't have custody of the kid. It was just the dad. She actually tried to warn, like her and her mother apparently were very adamant about getting the kid into therapy, and they were trying to warn the school officials. So, yeah, like I don't think the mom is culpable in this, but the dad absolutely is.
Winder, Georgia this morning. Good morning, Faith.
Yeah, good morning to you, Gio. Lots of questions this morning about whether the suspect's mother called the school with an ominous...
I don't think they live together, no.
...the shooting. This as we're also learning that the suspect allegedly shot 13 people in just over a minute. This morning, new details emerging about the suspect in the Georgia high school shooting from family members and a classmate about what they say happened the morning of the shooting. Cole Gray's aunt telling ABC News details first reported in the Washington Post that the 14-year-old's mother called a school counselor the morning of the shooting to warn them about an extreme emergency. The Post reporting that the suspect's mother texted her sister, saying she told the school counselor to go immediately and find her son to check on him. The 10-minute call apparently came at 9:50 a.m., according to the suspect's aunt, nearly a half hour before the suspect allegedly opened fire.
You don't think like the kid that sits next to you in class is just gonna like shoot up your school one day?
16-year-old Lila Sayarath says the suspect walked out of her class, minutes later appearing back at the classroom door trying to get back in. Barrow County Sheriff Judge Smith confirming the shooting lasted about a minute. According to authorities, 2 school resource officers then finding the suspect allegedly holding an AR-15 style rifle.
They ended the carnage at that distance. With what he had and what we had, it was a no-win situation.
Smith says
Judge Smith
agents quickly arrived at the scene thanks to an emergency alert system the county installed just 1 week earlier. That system, a badge given to each teacher with a button on it like this one. When pushed, it acts like GPS, pinpointing exactly where the emergency is happening in the building.
26 teachers hit that button. It's a school. It's not supposed to happen. It's supposed to be a safe place for kids.
And the sheriff says he's not aware of any alleged phone calls to the school warning them before the shooting. The school district declined to comment. In the meantime, though, the suspect was in court on Friday, but did not enter a plea. Janae?
Certainly raising even more questions. Faith, thank you.
Remedios. Neighbor has been arrested, possibly in connection with the death of a nurse who went missing in Oregon. You know what? It is about time. We're going to Beaverton.
Beaverton police have recovered Melissa Jubain's remains, but have yet to say exactly where she was found, arresting her neighbor, 27-year-old Bryce Schubert, who they believe was involved in her disappearance. He's now facing a charge of second-degree murder. Oscar Cardenas met Melissa Jubain years ago while working at the Nike company store when they were both students at the University of Portland, saying she always wanted to help people and reach her goal of one day becoming a nurse.
Such a hard worker, such a sweetheart. And being a nurse, that's like just the most selfless career ever.
They kept in touch over the years through Instagram.
She had such a beautiful life and just such great people around her. Every time she posted on Instagram, she was so happy and just so, like, I don't know, just glowing.
Both settling down at the same apartment complex in Beaverton off Southwest 160th Avenue and Baseline Road, where Melissa went missing on September 4th.
This area of town is just so quiet and so calm and so safe, so it's just shocking that something like that would happen here.
Setting off searches by family, friends, and most importantly, Beaverton police. During their investigation, police said they learned Melissa's neighbor, Bryce Schubert, was involved in her disappearance, arresting the 27-year-old on a charge of second-degree murder.
It's like, how is this happening in my own backyard, my own apartment complex?
Cute dog.
But yeah, it's just terrifying, honestly. It's scary that, you know, somebody could take away such a beautiful life, so young too.
Recovering Melissa's remains, but holding off on saying exactly where.
I can't even wrap my head around it. It's just so heartbreaking that it would happen here, and we're just gonna miss seeing her beautiful smile and just light up the energy around us.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about
Shut up, Lester.
Stories.
All right, the news gets more fun from here. Well, kind of. Oh, yeah, way more fun. Way more. What happens to rich people, it isn't so bad, but still, like, the cops are probably going to piss you off. Still maybe a little content warning. Racist cop action for you. 40 ball player Tyreek Hill was thrown in cuffs a few hours before the Fins game, detained outside of the stadium. Director Stephen V. Daniels of the Miami-Dade Police Department announced one of the officers in the Tyreek Hill detainment has been given administrative duties while Internal Affairs investigates. Director Daniels tells TMZ she's reviewing details surrounding the incident and body cam footage from the scene. Further updates will be provided. Tyreek Hill, the best player on the Dolphins. But isn't that a really low bar? Aren't they a really shitty team? Put on the ground and placed in handcuffs just hours before Miami's kickoff on Sunday. Although it appears he'll still play in the game, and he did. Video circulating on social media shows several law enforcement officers confronting the 30-year-old just feet away from Hard Rock Stadium. Sitting Cal, good evening. Where the Fins will take on the Jaguars. Ooh. Here's the arrest video. They appear to smack him around a little bit. Maybe I saw a video from a different angle. No, here we go. This is strike him. He appears to already be in cuffs here. Got really pissed off. He's probably trying to tell him who he is. They're like, we don't give a shit who you are. Boy, you listen to us. Power trip. Tyreek. Apparently didn't want to talk about it after the game, but did do this little celebration. I believe after a touchdown. Teammate in the game, which you know, that's kicking authority in the balls.
He's kicking authority in the balls.
Of course, they brought it up in the post-game interview, but he apparently didn't want to say too much about it. I think they won. I think the team won. Free Cheadle is Don Cheadle locked up? There's something I don't know about. If you're watching on Twitch, you gotta take the commercial break. When we come back, we're gonna talk about the weather. We're gonna talk about the weather. Hurricane knocked down a building. I don't even think it's made landfall yet in the Gulf Coast. Landslides in California. Line fire has exploded. Plus, we got some bullshit to tend to. Laura Loomer eats dog food. Nicki Minaj responds to being called Hulk Hogan. All that and a lot freaking more on the other side of the break on the Troll Patrol Live. Sitting cow, did I tell you good evening? Oh, Cheetah is Tyreek's nickname. Thank you. Maybe SeaWorld got him. Old titties. Even old titties deserve a titty slap.
A titty slap!
Come on now.
I'm just saying, especially old titties. Might as well pack another one, shall I? You already got some in here. No, I don't. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I cashed this one out this morning. Smoked with my a breakfast bowl, if you will. Light one up, tip one back. It's all right to have a little fun right after you get out of the sack. Drake, good evening. Getting hot in here. The heat wave has apparently subsided in my neck of the woods. But it is still scorching in the western part of the country. So my heart goes out to anyone still experiencing record-breaking temperatures. I think that's one of the things we're getting ready to talk about as we go out to California after everybody gets back from break in 1 minute. Oh, Drake, you don't care about me, but I care about you. Why you leaving, Snappa? You want to see Nicki Minaj react to being called Hulk Hogan. She does kind of look like Hulk Hogan. Hey, Snappa, would you fuck Hulk Hogan with a pussy or Megan Fox with a dick? Which one would you rather? Would you fuck Hulk Hogan with a pussy or Megan Fox with a dick? You gotta pick one. He had really tight pants on, Prometheus. I caught that comment. And he was indeed packing. Megan Fox with a dick all day long. Oh, Megan Fox with a dick and Hulk Hogan with a pussy? Oh, shit. It's kind of my language now. I might be able to get into that. The fuck? I care about you, Drake. A lot. I care about you so much, I try to bring you the most absurd news, politics, and current events happening on the internet every day. Well, not every day. Sunday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern. The California line fire has exploded today. A state of emergency has been declared in San Bernardino County.
Gavin Newsom issuing a state of emergency for San Bernardino County overnight as the line fire continues to grow.
Oh, shit.
Good morning. It's 6:30. I'm Lauren Lister.
And I'm Megan Tellis. The line fire now spanning 17,000 acres and endangering some homes. KTLA's Aaron Myers joins us live from Highland this morning with the latest on this fire. Aaron, good morning to you.
Good morning to you both. With this state of emergency, more resources are being brought in. And we did speak to a firefighter this morning. He was out here overnight, and he said the fire did lay down a bit overnight, but the conditions are going to be tough once again. Thousands of homes and other structures are threatened. Now you can see here behind me some fire in the hillsides, and we have seen that in a few locations when we've been driving around. Right now we're along the 330 North headed towards Running Springs. And we do have new video we can show you from early this morning overnight as resources continue to come into communities. Crews were also working to clear brush all along the upper eastern side of Highway 330 after the fire jumped it. Now, the fire did really explode yesterday. Tankers were brought in and dropped retardant, but CAL FIRE says crews have been making progress in the nighttime hours due to higher humidity and water dropping helicopters, and also a little rain yesterday helped out. Now, firefighters have been dealing with difficult conditions, though. Tough terrain. The vegetation is extremely dry. Temperatures were about 100 degrees yesterday, and the humidity was low. There have also been lightning strikes and strong winds to contend with, and it is starting to get breezy out here this morning. Now, they will be dealing with much of the same.
Now, it is apparently affecting the weather. A giant fire like this apparently changes the weather system around it.
Hot weather today. There is an excessive heat warning in place throughout the weekend, along with a chance of thunderstorms. Now, the fire started Thursday night in Highland and now threatens more than 8,700 structures, including single and multifamily homes, commercial buildings, and others, forcing some to leave and others to be ready to.
Prepared if so, you know, the essentials that we need, and we have a place to go to. Very concerned. Look at that smoke up there. It's amazing.
1 minute, you know, you'll see it far back, and then I'll go inside for a little.
I think that's the word for it, sir.
Getting lower and lower, so we're just waiting for it to finally stop.
And you can see on the map here, the evacuation orders, they are in red. This is from Calle del Rio to Highway 38, including Green Spot Road North, all underdeveloped land east of Highway 330 to Summer Trail Place and north of Highland Avenue. The areas of Running Spring east of Highway 330 and south of Highway 18, communities of Running Springs and Arrow Bear Lake, the area east of Orchard Road to Clover Hill from Highland Avenue north to the foothills, and north of Highland Avenue and east of Palm Avenue to Highway 330. As for evacuation warnings, those are in.
It's amazing the word, though. Maybe stunning. Even breathtaking, because you can talk about the smoke will also take your breath away, while the view be
yellow, and they affect several neighborhoods, including Cedar Glen, Lake Arrowhead, Crestline Valley of Enchantment, and Green Valley Lake. Now, residents are being told to pack a bag containing all important documents, food, water, and necessary medications. Evacuation shelters are available at Emmanuel Baptist Church in Highland and at the San Bernardino County Fairgrounds. Along with animals, you can take them to DeVore Animal Shelter. Now, back here live, you can see a bit of smoke here right now this morning. A lot of the fire up there on the hillside, and we are seeing that sporadically in different spots right now. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. We do know 3 firefighters have been injured battling this fire. And if you do need more information about the evacuation orders and warnings, we have those on our website, ktla.com. We do expect to have more information as well for you after 7 o'clock this morning. That is when firefighters are having their briefing. Reporting live here in Highland, I'm Erin Myers. I'll send it back to you.
I'll take a girl down by the fire. Gives new meaning to that now, doesn't it? California not only facing wildfires, one neighborhood suffering from massive landslides, repeated landslides.
You have to be here to see it, actually. It's so crazy. Just watching your house sink away. We are in Rancho Palos Verdes in the deep of the sinkhole, which my house now lies. This was all in like an 8-month span. And in that time, my house has just kept sinking and sinking.
Dip! It's an understatement.
We get some kind of funding and individual funding so we can move out or maybe turn it into a hiking destination and pay us off. I don't care. I'll take my money and never come back. I never want to deal with it again.
Oh, you will get bought out, eh, buddy?
Hi, I'm Monty Torres.
You want the government to give you something for your property? That sounds like socialism to me. No, I'm all for it. It's a great fucking idea to get our government to do it. No, it ain't gonna happen. Oh my God! It's Hurricane Hunter. The name of it is Hurricane Hunter.
Come on, man.
Hurricane Hunter's dick getting ready to make landfall in the Gulf.
Right now, hurricane hunters are flying through a disturbance in the Gulf.
Hurricane hunters
to become a hurricane and could impact the southeast Texas coast this week. We have live team coverage beginning with meteorologist Kim Castro.
What's his name?
So Kim, what's the very latest?
Yeah, we're watching what is potential tropical cyclone 6. So this is expected to get the designation Francine here as we move
Francine.
into the coming work week. The time frame we need to be mindful of. Tuesday through Thursday, and I think most.
Oh yeah, because
Wednesday we could be looking at heavy rain, so you need to watch this forecast closely each. And
yeah, they were talking about hurricane hunters.
Hurricane Center has designated this potential tropical cyclone 6, meaning they have certainty that this will develop not just into a tropical storm in the short term, but potentially even into.
Oh, does it alternate? Or I thought it was like every other year. Like 1 year it's feminine, 1 year it's masculine.
Tropical storm criteria. However, there isn't enough organization yet to push this into a tropical storm for now. However, once it gets closer towards the Gulf Coast, that's when the National Hurricane Center predicts it will intensify into a Category 1 hurricane. The time frame on this still up for debate. Again, once this storm does form, that's when we'll have a better understanding as to where it'll track and how quickly it'll get there. But for the time being, these are the areas that need to monitor the forecast closely. Notice who's included in that. Houston, Galveston.
So 4 p.m. tomorrow?
Coastline stretching into Lake Charles. Now, the two possible scenarios that I'm looking at, if this tracks a little bit further towards the east, that's better for us. First of all, we would be on the cleaner side of the storm, the left side of the storm, and most of the impacts would push into Louisiana. However, because we're in the cone of uncertainty, if this
the cone of uncertainty,
we would be getting those substantial
kind of like the veil of ignorance.
For that reason, watching what this system does come Tuesday, especially into Wednesday, will dictate how much of that heavy rain falls over us and how much of that heavy rain gets pushed elsewhere. Scenario 1 would bring us minimal impacts, so 2 to 4 inches.
We're talking Thursday.
This is scenario 2, so this is the more favorable scenario, and then maybe half an inch to an inch of rain in Harris County. Now, another scenario, another possibility, which would shift this a little bit further west, would bring some widespread.
Oh, it alternates names. So one woman, one man. Okay.
This wouldn't just be coastal storm.
Thank you, Flash.
This could potentially be inland flooding. So that's why I say that what happens over the next day or two is going to have a big bearing on a lot of Texans, Marcelino, and that's why I need you to stay with me here over the next few days to watch this system develop.
A lot to talk about, Kim. Thanks so much.
Stick with you, Kim. You did a very good job delivering the weather. Apparently in Louisiana, the high winds off the coast resulted in a building completely imploding. Moment a 22-story skyscraper imploded in seconds after hurricane damage. 22-story skyscraper imploded in seconds in Louisiana on Saturday, September 7th. After sitting vacant for almost 4 years, the Hertz Tower, once an icon of the Lake Charles skyline for more than 4 decades, had been damaged by a series of hurricanes that ripped through the southwest of the state in 2020. It became an eyesore, its windows shattered and covered in shredded tarps. Spectators watched as the tower, formerly known as the Capital One Tower, came crashing down after a demolition crew set off explosions inside. Oh, I thought it was the weather that brought it down. God damn it. I'm having browser issues tonight. Fucking fuck. completely forgot what I was doing. Because I'm probably... Alright, here we go. That was fun. Totally gonna watch it again. Have been abandoned for 4 years. Mr. Sprague, yes, 9/11 is this week. For those who celebrate, we always do a little something special here on the Troll Patrol. Who's planning a new 9/11? Did Pete Davidson's mom remarry? Yeah, it's a big week. We got the presidential debate. We got the Michigan Senate debate. We've got 9/11. Tuesday is the 10th. Wednesday is 9/11. Thursday is the Michigan Senate debate. And now here for some reason is Laura Loomer eating dog food.
This isn't a gimmick. This is not just, some trash dog food from China, okay? These are supplements, and these are products that are so healthy and natural that you could actually eat it yourself. So you can see here, Positive Bison. It clearly says dog food topper. And I'm going to put this in my mouth right now. So it tastes like meat. And maybe that is disgusting to you. But I'll show you right here. Look, this is the Bison product right here. It clearly says dog food topper. You can see on camera. Actually tastes good. This isn't a gimmick. This is not just, you know, some trash dog food from China, okay? These are supplements and these are products that are so healthy and natural that you could actually eat it yourself.
Listen, chat. If at any point in time I get to a point where I'm eating dog food for a sponsorship, will you guys intervene for me? I believe so, Drake. It's probably cooked and then like refrigerated. It's probably all pre-cooked. So I mean, not raw. Graham Branch, good evening. I don't know how to tell you guys to intervene, but like never. I'll eat dog food if it's some sort of a dare or something. Like if it's for a bit, some sort of, if there is a reason, next time Donald Trump gets arrested, I'll eat dog food. That's not happening. That sort of thing. That is the only way that I want you to live. Not for, if it's a sponsorship. No.
This isn't a gimmick. This is not just, you know, some trash dog food.
Use promo code LUMER.
Supplements and these are
LUMER to save 15% at pawsensitive.com.
So you can see here, Positive Bison. It clearly says dog food topper. And I'm going to put this in my mouth right now.
You just got lured, bitch. Me.
It tastes like meat, and maybe that is disgusting to you, but I'll show you right here. Look, this is the Bison product right here. It clearly says dog food topper. You can see on camera. Actually tastes good. This isn't a gimmick. This is not just, you know, some trash dog food from China, okay? These are supplements and these are.
You don't think China feeds their dogs well?
Natural that you could actually eat it yourself. So you can see here, Positive Bison. It clearly says dog food topper. And I'm going to put this...
Well, I was wondering why she had a picture of Kamala, but it's in an alligator's mouth.
It tastes like meat. And
it tastes like meat. Bloomer Unleashed. That was a clip from Bloomer Unleashed. You guys enjoyed Bloomer Unleashed. A fan apparently said that Nicki Minaj looked like Hulk Hogan during a live stream, and I mean, what you gonna do, brother?
Who you calling Hulk Hogan?
You didn't take it well.
You know what? Blocking your ass, motherfucker.
No, it's Nicki Minaj. Cardi B would have laughed it off. Nicki Minaj, block a motherfucker. Nicki Minaj is so fucking petty.
Who you calling Hulk Hogan?
They are entirely correct.
Motherfucker, you know what? Blocking your ass, motherfucker. Blocking your ass. Hulk Hogan. Oh, you. Hunty.
I mean,
Hulk Hogan.
Look at you. You know what Hulk Hogan looks like?
I'm talking about some Hulk Hogan. Who you calling Hulk Hogan?
You!
Motherfucker, fuck.
With your bandana.
Blocking your ass, motherfucker. Blocking.
Brother.
Hulk Hogan. Oh. Hunty. Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Blocking.
Hulk blogging. Nigga, you might get along with Hulk Hogan, to be completely honest with you. The two of you seem to have a lot in common. But she still fucking blocked the dude. This morning, right before football started. There's a lot of football stories for me. What the hell? This morning, right before football started, they made an announcement about the Super Bowl halftime performer for this year. I always enjoy the Super Bowl halftime show. This year, I'm really excited. It's one of my favorites.
You ready? Exactly. What the deal, everybody? My name Kendrick Lamar, and I'll be performing at Super Bowl 59. Will you be pulling up? I hope so. You know it's only one opportunity to win a championship. No round twos. Let's get it. Boom!
Kendrick Lamar is headlining next year's Super Bowl halftime show. On Sunday, September 8th, Rock Nation, Apple Music, and the NFL announced that the rapper will perform at the Super Bowl 59 halftime show on February 9th, 2025 in New Orleans, Louisiana. Rap music is still the most impactful genre to date, and I'll be there to remind the world why. They got the right one, Kendrick said in a release. Jay-Z, who founded Rock Nation, praised Kendrick, saying, "Kendrick Lamar is truly a once-in-a-generation artist and performer. His deep love for hip-hop and culture informs his artistic vision. He has an unparalleled ability to define and influence culture globally. Kendrick's work transcends music, and his impact will be felt for years to come." Last year, Usher took the stage for the 2024 Super Bowl in Las Vegas, which the NFL said was the most watched halftime performance of all time and garnered 3 2024 Emmy nominations. During his sensational performance, the singer brought out
guests,
including Lil Jon, Alicia Keys, Ludacris, will.i.am, and more. Access Hollywood's Scott Evans was backstage at the Super Bowl and caught up with the musical talent after the show.
Man, how'd that feel? Money, how'd that feel? Great, man. Dream of mine since I was 9 years old to be able to be here on the stage today, man. God is real, man.
He is?
We pray. Yeah. And have to wonder sometimes why things happen the way they do. Yeah. God's always working in perfect timing, man. Brother, it was a perfect... Be here today, had this opportunity to be able to share this with the world. It's a matter of my belief in Christ. I'm so happy that I had this opportunity to be able to share. Look, Ma, we made it. Usher, baby! Congratulations, brother. Epic. Incredible. Incredible. Luda, nailed it. Brother, good to see you, bro. How did that feel, man?
This is like the second time we've had Ludacris on here in like 2 weeks.
That's what I love so much about it. And what 70,000 people?
Man, millions of people.
I'm talking about inside the stadium.
Exactly.
When you talking about television, that's over 115. But inside this particular stadium, they levitated.
Yes.
They levitated.
Kill it, brother. Come on. So like you said, why open the show when you can close the show?
I mean, we talked about this a couple days ago. I couldn't tell you about what I was doing, but as you see, as I'm here, shout out to the Gold.
I think so, Mary Jane. I think you might be right.
It was epic.
Thank you, Usher, for letting me be a part of this show in Las Vegas, my second home. Blessings, please.
Let's go.
Yes, sir. Congratulations. Yes, sir.
Lil Jon?
Epic. All right.
Yeah.
It's so good. When you came out with that guitar, I was like, oh my God. How did that feel?
Oh my God, it was crazy. Right? Yeah, I couldn't believe I was on that stage. I was just like, oh my gosh, am I really here?
The energy was bananas.
Access Hollywood is not faunting them.
Epic performance.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Levitating. Levitating. Levitating.
Wait, I saw you on the Grammys red carpet. Exactly. Now you got me sweaty coming off the Super Bowl thing. I had the other helmet on and the Grammys. Now I got.
Buddy.
Man, how did that feel?
Man, check us out.
History was made.
So first off, you know, not many people get to rock the Super Bowl.
Right.
And the person to kick this whole Super Bowl thing off is Michael Jackson, rest in peace. Yeah. But also, the Wayans.
That's the first, like.
Thank you, In Living Color, for even having.
Before Michael Jackson, it was like weird bands from like across the country. It'd be like school bands and shit. It was insane.
Having a Super Bowl halftime show in 1992 for 1993 for Michael Jackson to play that.
Yes.
And Prince, I love them both. These are friends of mine. And so, and you too, I love Bono and The Edge and Adam and Larry.
Really, Drake? That's fucking awesome.
Who? Like, legends, you
Usher,
know?
Will.i.am.
Black Eyed Peas, 2011.
Let's go.
We played OMG on our show. Now to play OMG on his show, that's the same song, two separate Super Bowls. You're lucky if you do one Super Bowl.
It's a double feature.
Yo, that's a boom. That's like
a blessing, man.
Yeah, and it's future casting because you know.
Fucking Kendrick gets 2 Super Bowls now. Cause you got one song played at 2 Super Bowls. Kendrick gonna get 2 Super Bowls now, cause he already made an appearance for Dre's.
We said I did it again. Y'all didn't know I was talking about what we did right
Oops,
now.
Oops, I did it again.
Came back and blew our minds again.
Yeah, I got my spaceship is parked outside. You just thought I'm just wearing an outfit? No, this technology. I'm already broadcasted to 2054.
Tell me right now, how do you celebrate?
They actually got somebody hot.
An epic performance.
You go to the studio, write another song.
Right now.
Lady Gaga wasn't washed up.
Hotel room. So tonight, after it's all said and done,
Katy Perry wasn't washed up when she performed.
You know, it's gonna be awesome. It's awesome.
Congratulations, man.
FYI. That's the future.
Come on.
FYI.
Try to get somebody that appeals to all ages. Kendrick is perfect.
Check that out.
The Apple Music Super Bowl 59 halftime show will take place at the Caesars Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana on Sunday, February 9th, 2025, airing on Fox.
When did they play? Oh, they played Kid Rock Rap at the RNC. Thank you very much. Speaking of live music, I guess this is a good time to plug that tomorrow night we're going to do our first Live Music Monday after the Troll Patrol. So if you're gonna be on Twitch, stick around and we will do a concert or two afterwards. We'll see how things go tomorrow night. Live Music Monday right after the Troll Patrol. Coming soon. We're going to do classic wrestling at 6:05 on Saturday. At 8 o'clock, we're going to watch Saturday Night Live from the beginning. We'll do like episode 1 and then episode 2. So 6:05, classic wrestling. And I'm gonna try to switch it up. I'm gonna try to give you maybe one week we watch an entire event. Maybe another week we watch like best of cage matches. Maybe one week we highlight a specific wrestler and watch all their matches. Not all their matches, but specifically just matches with them. Some nights I'm gonna bust in on you. We're not gonna do Saturday Night Live. I'm gonna switch it up. You're not gonna know when it's coming. Watch Saturday Night Live from the beginning, but just out of the blue, one night, I'm gonna pop in on you. We're gonna do Snick. We're gonna do Are You Afraid of the Dark? Marissa explains it all, that kind of shit. Here you can get some puppies though.
Go.
I may do Chris Benoit. People might get mad at me for doing Chris Benoit, but like, I can definitely spend a couple hours watching Chris Benoit matches. Are you digging?
Mina?
Getting to know each of their personalities.
Jake?
Laura Loomer should be on this buzz. Prometheus, you deserve a titty slap for that one.
A titty slap!
Come on now. Maru. I think Amaru likes being, he was a husky, wasn't he? He liked being in the snow. This little motherfucker likes being in the snow, too.
Wrigley?
Wrigley. This is Mo Mountain Mutts out of Alaska.
Gumbo?
Mo Mountain Mutts on all the social media. Oh my god, he's adorable. Gumbo.
Layla?
Layla.
Gumbo, no.
It was in a puddle over there.
Dara?
I didn't get Daru?
Otis?
No, he's drooling.
Shark attack. Excuse you, you already had yours.
Look at that face. How can you deny him? I'd give him another treat, but it's not fair to the other ones.
You can't catch the little dogs, can ya? Go get faster.
You little chonk. They got a stick. They playing with a stick.
I see Mina's ears.
Beautiful up there, isn't it? Oh, there's the babies. Getting their zoomies out. Maynard got the zoomies yesterday. Curiouser and I made peach cobbler. Did a Kurt Russell double feature.
You guys ready to load up?
Watching the movie, eating our cobbler. I'm probably gonna eat some of that cobbler right after I get off of here. I'll eat some cobbler and then I'll make dinner.
Otis, drop it. Good boy, good boy.
Oh, let him have a stick.
Leave it, Yarrow.
The loomer leash.
Come on, load up. Lee, can you push this?
Made it completely from scratch. I will give her most of the credit.
Yarrow, leave it. Load up.
She kept saying team effort, and I'm like,
Go.
no, I just prepped the peaches for you.
Good dogs.
I've only ever seen Tombstone, Drake, and I really liked it. I really like Tombstone.
You think Jake?
So I'd had to say Tombstone.
Aww.
Sorry to have to do you like that. Only ever seen Tombstone. Never seen Stargate. Oh, I've only seen Tombstone. That's the only movie I've ever seen. Tombstone was the one with Val Kilmer, right? Real star-studded cast.
Carl? You digging?
Are you digging?
Mina? Murray?
Oh, by the way, West Virginia Democrats are calling on Jim Justice to drop out of the race. Because Val Kilmer, a hell of an actor. It's sad, like, you know, he's had such horrible health issues. We were deprived of a good 20, 30 more years of Val Kilmer. What a fucking actor.
Hold on.
I've never seen Heat. I need to, because I really like Val Kilmer. If I get both of you chiming in, tell me how great it is. It's got one of my favorite actors. I mean, how can I not be sold?
Layla?
Ooh, perfect. Right up my alley, too.
Gumbo, no. Dara?
Babies. I don't know what I'm gonna make pizza for dinner. Or I'm gonna make a big ass salad. Which one am I doing? My guts will probably thank me if I make a big ass salad instead of having pizza. Because when I say pizza, it's pretty much just cheese. Meat and cheese.
You can't catch the little dogs, can ya? Go get faster. Maybe.
I don't know if I can tell you 6 of my favorite actors. Who are my 6 favorite actors? Kurt Russell, Leonardo DiCaprio, Michael Keaton.
You mean his ears?
I will, Drake. Like next weekend, I'll watch Heat. I watched Anchorman this weekend, and it sucks. Why do you people rave about Anchorman? Why is everybody like shocked I've never seen Anchorman? It got a few good giggles out of me, but overall, not a good movie.
Load up!
Only got to like 3 of my favorite actors.
Otis, drop it!
I like George Clooney an awful lot.
Hey, come on, let's get on the bus. Leave it, Yara.
At 4?
Leave it. Come on, load up. Lee, can you push the door open a little more? Come on, load up. Yara, leave it. Load up.
There's so many good actors.
Go. Get on the bus. Good.
Oh, Christoph Waltz.
Good dogs.
Everybody loves that movie, Drake. It is fucking dumb.
Aww.
It got maybe 3 or 4 good giggles out of me. When Vince Vaughn kissed him on the forehead at the end, that was probably that got the best chuckle out of me.
Louis?
I like Will Ferrell.
Carl?
I love Lamb.
Hey, dig it? Mina?
I've never seen Step Brothers, so
Murray?
I guess that's my next homework, eh? I toasted to the microphone.
Jake?
I like Will Ferrell, just Anchorman wasn't good. And I'm just like I'm looking through shit on Friday night, I think is when I watched it. I'm like, what we gonna watch tonight? And like I was gonna watch There Will Be Blood. I've never seen it, and I'd watched some video that was talking about how good it was the other day. I was like, you know what? I got it. Maybe we'll break that one out. There Will Be Blood is fucking great. I feel like I heard mixed reviews about it at the time, and I never got around to watching it. Yeah, I like a movie that goes hard. I almost watched No Country for Old Men because I haven't seen it in, what, 13 years? For what, fucking 15 more? It came out a long time ago. And I almost watched it because I was like, I don't remember shit about it. No, I know it's great though. Yeah, that's a fucking like 17 years ago. God damn. Instead, I watched Anchorman. I regret it.
Otis.
They both came out the same year. It's wild that was those were the two I was thinking about. I've seen No Country for Old Men though, but it's been a long fucking time. I want to say that I watched Cesario, the first one.
Maybe.
But I couldn't tell you anything about it. And once again, that would have been like it came out like 15 years ago. So that's around the time I watched it. But my buddy's already trying to get me into like spooky stuff. And I'm like, no, you keep that in your October. Hey, and I like doing Halloween specials so much. You could probably get me to do them more than just like on Halloween. So if you want me to do like several days of Halloween specials as we get later in October, we can absolutely do that. I got so many Christmas specials. Maybe we can do whole week of Christmas specials too.
Otis, drop it. Good boy. Good boy.
Oh, Otis.
Leave it, Yarrow. Leave it. Come on, load up. Lee, can you push the door?
House, isn't that the movie about isn't it the show about the dude?
Yarrow, leave it. Load up.
It's got the Massive Attack song.
On the bus. Good. Hey, good boy.
If you're watching on Twitch, you're heading over to Echoplex Media.
Leave it.
The Plex podcast is recording. Go ahead, light one up, tip one back. It's all right to have a little fun before we hit the sack. I'm JustinFREAKIN. See you tomorrow night on the Troll Patrol. Live.